In this video, I'm going to go more in depth on all the different combat attributes and how they impact how you approach combat. Before we start, there are help icons on the right of all combat attributes and skills that provide a brief description of what that specific skill does. Agility determines the fight order, and the higher your agility stat, the longer you have to dodge an enemy attack. So I can give you a brief example with sparring. Since I have 12 agility and he has 0, I am able to hit him 12 times before he can hit me once. Alright, so let me show you an example of me successfully dodging an attack. So over here I'm caught off guard, so he gets to attack me first. And I'm pressing D, and I dodged that on time, so it became a darker green. Your Cunning skill allows you to do fake attacks, and also the higher your Cunning skill is, the more opaque the enemy's fake attacks become, allowing you to easily determine which one's fake and which one's real. So let me give you an example of me doing a fake attack. I'm going to spar, and I successfully hit him. I press F to do a fake attack, and I do A to do a real attack. So you always do a fake attack before your real attack. The amount of fake attacks you can do depend on your Cunning skill. So over here I have 13 Cunning. So once I successfully land an attack, I'll show you that I can do 13 fake attacks before I use a real attack. Technique is the most unique combat skill, as you cannot gain it from leveling it up. The only way to increase your technique is through trainers and a couple of quests. This skill gives you more time to attack, makes your hitbox smaller, and gives you more time when choosing your attack. So let me show you that really quick with sparring. So with technique, this is going much slower than normal, the attack stagger. So it gives you a lot more time to do your attack and choose your attack. Another thing that technique does is it allows you to make your attacks themselves smaller. So I can show you really quick. Once I land an attack, I can make them really small because my technique is really high. But it won't be that small. It depends on your technique level. Hit points is pretty basic. It's obviously the amount of hits you can take before you faint. Your attack skill determines how many real attacks you can do on an opponent. So I can show that really quick with sparring once again. When I choose my attack, since I have 10 attack, the highest amount of real attacks I can do is 10. Stability has to do with how stable your attacks are. So since I have 1 stability and I have 4 attack, the chance of me hitting 1 instead of 4 or any number in between is much higher. So it's really hard for me to hit my maximum of 4, but it's easier for me to hit 1. So you can see it's going between 0 and 1 a lot, and it rarely ever goes higher than that. So in the early game, you really want your stability to match your attack. So here I have 3 stability and I have 4 attack. So this allows me to do 3 attack much easier than before. There are 4 different defense stats, but they each have the same purpose. It just depends on the type of enemy you are fighting. So my defense elemental is applied if I'm fighting an elemental opponent, my defense physical is applied if I'm fighting a physical opponent, and wizard for wizards and trooper for trooper. So over here in the sparring, since they're elemental because I'm from Benfried, my defense elemental is applied, which was 1. And this allows me to, let me just wait for this attack to go out. This allows me to press B on an attack that's blue, and I can block it. That time I accidentally blocked a fake attack, and it used up my dodge, my block. Alright, so I'm going to give you a brief tutorial on how fighting in this game works. So over here I'm fighting a level 15 opponent, which is a match because I'm also around level 15. I'm at level 14. So that influences the amount of combat XP you are awarded when you win. So since I have higher agility than him, I'm allowed to attack a certain amount more before he can attack. And I'm not going to choose to use my last attack because I want him to survive. I'm just going to intentionally miss this time. And since he has 2 Cunning, that means he can do 2 fake attacks. So as you can see, 2 of those were fake and 1 of those were real. Alright, and I can do the same thing by pressing the F key for a fake and the A key for a real attack. Let me give you another example from fighting because that one ended kind of fast. So this guy has 5 agility to my 2, which means he is allowed to attack 3 times before I can attack, and then next he will attack twice before I can attack once. So he missed the first time because his stability is very low. So that means his attacks are very unstable, which means he will miss a lot. And since I have 2 stability to my 2 attack, it's much easier for me to land a real attack. So I press F for fake and A for real. So the blue means he blocked the attack, and the green means he dodged the attack. And dodging is much easier when you have a higher agility. So that square I blocked with my 1 defense. And I hit 2 again. And I always want to go in the corners because it's much harder for your mouse to move like this to this. And see, that allowed me to actually get a hit in and win the match.